All right, in case you missed it, April of 2026 has been the biggest month for email marketing updates to date out of the history of email marketing. And I'm going to break down exactly what the biggest updates are and exactly how you can use them for your business. And trust me, there's going to be a few things in here that flew under the radar that are going to make the biggest difference to your revenue. So trust me, pay attention. And one of the most exciting updates to start with is actually personalized web banners. And this is going to be huge for CRO and optimization. The reason for it is because let's just say that you have a customer, Brenda. She's been spending with you for months and months now. And when she goes to your website, she's seeing a personalized message specifically for her that is relevant to her. And the way that this works is Klaviyo has now enabled personalized web banners, whereby you can actually use data about that specific customer. So for example, let's just say that she has loyalty points with you. Because she's been spending so frequently, you can now enable it that the web banner, when she goes onto your website on the homepage, actually displays information about her. So let's just say that it says, hey Brenda, wanted to welcome you back. We're excited to have you. Keep in mind, you have 202 unspent loyalty points, which is equivalent to about $30. Redeem it here. So instead of you having to consistently send out campaigns to these people that have never used it, you have an additional touch point, and that personalization is going to make a huge difference to your conversions. So here's exactly how to set it up. You basically just need to navigate to Klaviyo, then you want to open up the settings, you want to go navigate to Customer Hub, and there is where you're going to integrate. You have to pay an additional fee for this, but I think it is absolutely worth it. And from there, you're going to enter in the exact personalization and properties that you want to talk about. Now you can make this about anything, but personally, I think the most value lies in loyalty points. And similarly to this, which is one of the things I'm so excited about, which is long overdue, is personalized sign-up forms depending on the landing pages. So for example, let's say that your number one ad creative and your number one revenue driver is actually sending people from the ads to one of your gummy landing pages. What this is going to do is people are obviously landing there with very specific intent. They know what they want, but they've never been able to get a personalized experience. They always get the same pop-up that's 30% off or 20% off. That is not personalized. Instead, what you can do is you can have a pop-up that lands up only on the gummies page. You can say, hey, we know you're looking at gummies. What are you hoping to get out of it? Better sleep, better focus, or better stress management. And now you can create properties and better conversions because you're getting more information about the customer. And on top of that, you're specializing that sign-up form to what their interest is instead of this generalized option. So to me, this is going to change the game for not only submission rates, but also conversion rates, because the more information you have about your customers off the rip, the better. And this is kind of the approach that Grüns and AG1 all take with their customer base. They always ask multiple questions before actually taking the email address so that they understand their audience better, but also the audience submissions goes up because they don't feel like they're being sold to. They feel like they're filling something out to their preferences and they're going to get something in return for that. That's exactly how this is going to be optimized. Now you can think for yourself a plethora of ways that you can use this, but that is the best use case that I can see for our brands that we work with. Next up, which is something I'm excited about because our agency works with hundreds of brands and trying to figure out data points for every single unique brand is pretty difficult. And although we've done a great job at it, one of the things that is always unique to a brand is the sending time. And I don't just mean using Klaviyo to send at a recipient's ideal time, because that is just sending in their ideal time frame of EST or PST. But there's something way beyond that. Every single unique customer has unique routines. There's people that work night shifts and buy in the early morning, or there's people that prefer to buy and shop at work, all these people that only shop on weekends or once a month. And so with that data in mind, we now have the option to send Klaviyo AI related emails that will personalize the send time for every unique customer. This is going to be another element that is just going to drive sales way through the roof, an actual needle to move. Because now you can send to your high priority and high intent customers and better understand when they want to place an order. Or even better, you can send to your win back opportunities and understand when they're most likely to click on the email based on historic data so that they don't lapse as easily. So again, this is just one of the many use cases that AI is finally bringing into the picture, which I'm so excited about. All right, and this next one is the one I'm most excited about because you finally, as an individual, are able to create a $500 million email program with the single prompt of AI. And now you already know that there's a Claude and Klaviyo integration. I've done a video on that before. This scrapes way past that. What you can have at the tips of your hands is now within 20 seconds, you can have an entire marketing program built out based on your competitors. Which means you're not just prompting it on ideas that it wants to come up with you off the rip. You now have educated data and you can use that to your advantage to the point that you can even generate fully fledged emails. So here's how that works. You want to integrate your Klaviyo directly with Claude. From there, you can create a brand profile based on all the information you have about your own brand, you can copy all the information from your website and it can scrape all the information from your website and your social media. Then it's going to create a brand profile that it continuously updates and refers back to, so you don't have to continuously reprompt. From there, what's going to happen is you have the ability to scrape a ton of competitors' emails and their campaigns to generate and repackage your own campaigns. Again, I've done a different video about this, but essentially you can navigate to Mill.com, take a screenshot of one of your competing brands' emails, and essentially educate your own campaigns with what they've been sending out. And what's going to happen is Claude can repackage those for your niche and your brand specifically in your voice. So now you have a fully fledged email calendar ready to go. And from that, you just need a brief. And luckily, Claude is pretty well educated with copywriting. So you can just essentially scrape some of the best competitor emails that you've seen and get it to analyze the top hooks, the top subject lines, and the top ways that it uses to write those copies. From there, it will generate a brief for a campaign, so whether that's copywriting or a brief to a designer. You can then take that brief and you can go to Claude Design, which again, I've done another video about, and you can input that brief and voila, you have a fully fledged email ready to go, all within pretty much a minute or two of giving it a brief. So now what used to take teams pretty much days or weeks to put out, you can do in the span of maybe 5 minutes. You can brief an entire month's copy, you can brief an entire month's ideation, and you can then generate those images that are high quality emails that you can just essentially copy paste into your backend. So the rate of output is suddenly increasing tremendously, and email marketing is one of the last industries to really feel this integration of AI, but I'm so excited for where it's going. And that brings me to the next point. Klaviyo is actually soon bringing out Composer. This is still in the beta version, but I recommend you search Klaviyo Composer and you sign up for the waitlist. They're choosing a few brands like our brands that we work with because we're an agency, so we get access to it first, where they have a beta version of this. And essentially what it is similar to Claude Design, but way more intricate because Klaviyo has access to over 193,000 brands to pull from, which means it has the #1 data point for all email marketing. And what you can do is give a simple brief on what your campaign is going to be, and it will generate a fully fledged campaign ready built in the backend. So trust me, you want to make sure that you're starting to implement these changes and these updates because it's going to be the biggest difference between the brands that stagnate and the brands that make more revenue. So with that being said, I'll see you in the next video, and I'm going to continuously make updates about these Klaviyo updates and email marketing updates. So subscribe, I'll keep doing videos like this, and I'll see you in the next one.